So there's requests for how do you get underground? Everybody wants to know how, and this started for a multitude of reasons. I mean, I was playing around with enemy spawns, and then I was playing around with being able to have things electrified, but with no visual how was it electrified, and then it turned into the camp can be down here. And there's a few different naked allies. There's a few different ways you can do it. Like you could come down through the through like a symptomatic. You could come down through a chair if you poke just enough of the chair out through the surface of the ground that you can get a hold of it. You can get out through the chair too. But I mean, I've got two different camps that are built, which I'll show you. And the main difference is this one. It's just the structure floats down here underground. There's nothing. It's just here, right? But then, like this camp over here, is this was the first one that I did, where I was kind of learning my ways of how to do it. And in order to make it work, like I had to use a foundation piece. So down underneath there is a foundation piece. Because I hadn't figured out yet how to detach the structure from however you start above the ground, right? And also it's how much time you invest. Like at the other one, the floor I got, the height's perfect. So it looks like the symptomatic just sits on the floor. Here you kind of got to jump down a tiny little bit. But like I had to use, like in order to get the structure down here, you got to use stairs and a foundation piece. And I didn't know how to not have that anymore. But I figured that out. But that only can apply if you have an atomic shop item. Without marsupial, that's not as efficient. But I'll show you how to do it. Over here at this other camp, I deleted what was here because it was just shit I was screwing around with. So this is just a fresh camp here. I'll show you what you got to do. The first thing that you got to do is, I guess I don't have it stored. You need to go to power connectors, and you need a pressure plate, and you want to place it, and then you want to just grab it and let it go, and then you notice that the top of it's depressed down now. That way you can use it without having to power it and put a mannequin on it and all that bullshit like some people do. And then the next thing you need is a floor item. I find that the best floor decor, well, everybody uses this Agua Egg, and this is all the big rage. I've never used it, but let's see. We'll say that we'll try something new. And then you got to find your item that you're going to use to get underneath the ground. Now, you can use, like this alien bed. This works. This is how I originally was doing it. The symptomatic works, but this is more expensive to craft. But let's just say that we're going to do it with this. And then what you got to do is you got to put it onto your floor object like that. And then you grab your floor object like that, and you set where the floor object is on the pressure plate, but your whatever the fuck you're sinking won't hit the pressure plate on the way down, or won't barely hit it. Because if it does, it'll stop. So then you get in a position where you can highlight just your egg or your flower pot or whatever your floor object is, And then you take your hand off your mouse so you don't accidentally wiggle around and grab the wrong shit. And you just keep hitting E. And gradually, whatever you have is going to sink. So you just keep hitting E until you sink it all the way down until it's low enough that it's almost completely under the ground and you can barely just access the top of it to be able to activate it. So you just do this. This is about as exciting as it seems like it is. But it's all about the end result. And then you can move you still want to grab your floor object, but now you can see I can move this all around, take it wherever I want it to. And my Jiggerpoo stays underneath the ground, okay? So we're going to say that we'll do it, we'll go down in the hole here so we give ourselves a little bit extra of room, okay? So we put that there. And then we're going to need to have something under the ground. We don't need this anymore, so we can store this now. So we're going to, now we can have a way to get, now we can get underneath the map, right? Like if I leave build mode, I can come here and I get in this thing and then I just tap W just to get out of it. And there's a little bit of a perimeter around this that you won't fall off of. But now you see I'm underneath the ground, okay? I can jump up and get back out. But now what I got to do is open build mode back up. And I need to put down a foundation. And then you want to use well, if you're going to disconnect it, this doesn't matter. But it is going to matter if you can't disconnect it. Okay? So, depending on what you're going to answer to a question later, you may want to decide which stairs you want to use now. Because if you're going to try to hide this, you might not want stairs with a fucking railing. You know, you might want to use like this stairs that's easier to hide. Okay? But for the purposes of what I'm doing here, it does not going to matter. Okay, so now we have stairs that go underneath the ground, right? So now I'm going to come back over here and go back into my bed so I'm underneath the ground. Tap W. And the Symptomatic has a little perimeter too, so don't worry. When you step out of that, you won't fall right to the ground. Now what you got to do is you got to enter build mode again. And then now here comes the part where if you purchased an item from the Atomic Shop, this catwalk thing, there's this one and there's the alien one. They both function the same. But if you purchase this catwalk, okay, what you can do with it is, I should have placed that where I did. It's going to make it hard. Because for right now, I got to work with where I'm standing at, okay? But let's place that there. And then you got to use another stairs. Man, I'm so rusty on where shit is in this build menu. Okay, so now I have another stairs. Now, I want to, I don't have anything stored or recent. You want to go to your upstairs floor walls, or floors, and you want to put some down how you want this to be. Now, keep in mind that once you place these floor pieces, you'll never be able to move them again. Okay? These floor pieces that I'm putting down here are here forever. So don't place them until you're positive they're where you want them. Otherwise, you're going to have to move your camp unit a little bit and start all over again from scratch. Okay? And that includes is this oriented this way or this way or this way, or, you know, like the slats could face other ways. Like if you're going to change what the floor looks like. Okay, so it matters. Okay, so I'm just gonna do 4 basic pieces right there. Now, like if I want to go here and I want to change this to something different, right? I can do that right now. Okay, if you're going to do that, you got to do that now, okay? The reason being is you can now delete, well, I got to get down here, it's easier. I can now delete this, okay, which lets me delete this, and it lets me delete this. So now all I'm left with is my camp is completely underground now, okay? Now, but the problem is that I can't change this anymore, see? Okay, so if you didn't do that before you take away that piece of catwalk, you'll never be able to do it again. So you gotta do whatever you're gonna do with your floor before you remove that piece of catwalk. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you you're not gonna do this, and you're not gonna find, oh fuck, I can't, and you're gonna have to. Does not go perfect. You will have to fuck shit up. You will have to start over. You won't be happy with your first one. You're gonna do this 15 times before you get one that you love. But I'm just trying to show you the basics, okay? And then now I believe I almost want to say. No, that if I go back to floors, I don't think I can. So you can't play. Once you remove that piece of catwalk, you're all done building floors. So now that stairs, see, I could have, if I chose to, I could have incorporated the upstairs, made an upstairs part of my build before I deleted the catwalk. But I didn't. So now what I'm left with is the stairs and the floor. That's permanent after the catwalk's done. Okay? And I believe that also makes it so you can't do walls. Okay? Which is why I use defense things, because these you can use. Okay? And it's one of those things where, okay, if you got some shit from the Atom Shop, you're probably in good shape. But like these, like you can use this, okay? So, that's something to think about. When I did my other one that's complete and disconnected like this, what I did was, because I didn't want to have the second floor be any dimensionally different than the top, you start the stairs here, run it to, you know what I mean? You can do that different so that the stairs doesn't overhang the edge, but you only put on your walls, because you're allowed to put on ceilings. So you just use ceiling pieces as your second story floor. So then you can place the floor after the catwalk is gone, so that you're not left with like a weird upper floor because you couldn't place the floor where the catwalk was. You can place a ceiling piece there. So you could either, do it all with floors how you want, and then one ceiling piece if you don't care, or if you want them all to match, use ceiling pieces. And then one advantage to the ceiling pieces is you can change them. But I think that you should now have a pretty good understanding of how you get under the ground, what you kind of can't do. And then if you do fall off, what happens is the game will just put you back up on top of the ground. But then let me show you what I was talking about. Because this was my first one that I understood. I figured out how to not have, I could get rid of the stairs that reach to the surface. So then what I did was the stairs just, the catwalk was here and it went up to the other, however I don't remember. But these are all ceiling pieces. And the advantage to ceiling pieces is that even after, when everything else is disconnected, doesn't, you can't change anything, I can change the ceiling to any different, whichever ceiling I want, whatever roof I want. Ceiling. I don't know why I was saying ceiling. So that's something to keep in mind, that if and a lot of people say don't use roofs for floors, because if your camp gets damaged by an enemy attack or something, ceilings or roofs can be destroyed, but floors can't. Okay, well, down here nothing can attack unless you put your camp unit down here. Then your enemy spawns will spawn on your camp unit. So that's the other thing that's smart, is keep your camp unit separate from on different sides of the world, or the ground surface from where your main camp is. Then if you want to say, I want to rubber band my controller and go AFK for 30 minutes to whatever, go drink a beer on the porch with my neighbor, but I don't want to lose my spot in the server, you don't have to worry that you're going to get attacked while you were AFK and come back to being dead and twirling. So, I mean, everybody, they bagged on the comments, I remember, on that first video, that they're just too lazy to repair the camp. And it has literally nothing to do with that. Like, it has fucking nothing to do with that. Like, I'll repair everything 1,000 million times over. Don't even give a shit, okay? Don't care, okay? It's not about that. It's about the inconvenience of you come back and half your shit is broke, but all you see is the health bar of your shit is half gone. I just don't like seeing the health bar of something half gone, that I can't just say, okay, I know it's not completely broken, like my armor, but I want to spend the repair kit or the materials to just fix it fucking now, because I don't like looking at it half damaged. Split your shit like this, and now none of that becomes half damaged. And enemies don't attack things like this that don't have any value. Like, none of those items have value. I've had things spawn here a couple of times, and they go off and attack like the workers over there, or the workers up there. Or they don't even bother this. They don't even see it. It's like invisible to them. But you put a fucking generator here, and they'll start taking pot shots at it. You put a wall up with a fucking window, they'll start taking pot shots at it. But you put this useless shit, it's nothing to them. They don't even care. Don't even see it. But there's a little bit of how you do that. I was asked to do that, and I had to make it long and ranty, and that's where we're at. So if there's any other questions or whatever, feel free to ask. But until the next one, I've been Seven.